Do you think there's any Democrat who could defeat Donald Trump other than you?
Probably 50 of them.
You do believe that there are?
I'm not the only one to defeat him, but I will defeat him.
Who else do you think could defeat Donald Trump, Mr. President?
Okay, so that is Joe Biden with a lot of confidence. Not only that he can definitely beat Donald Trump, but that 50 other Democrats could. I would say if 50 other Democrats could, then you don't have to actually run necessarily. But interestingly, he recently said the only reason he's running is because of Trump. He said, if Trump wasn't running, I'm not sure I'd be running. He said at the fundraiser, we cannot let him win. Look, he is running and I have to run. But now you're saying 50 other Democrats can beat him. And you said initially you'd only run for one term. So I'm getting some mixed messages there. You're acting as if you're our only defender, but you're saying there's a whole crowd of people that could wallop him. And the thing is, like, you've got your mixed messages. The messages from the polling is not mixed. It's looking bad. It's getting worse. His job approval is now down to 37%, 8 points lower than it was at the start of just this year, 3 years into his presidential bid. And it's not difficult to figure out why. Roughly 4 in 10 Americans say the economy or the cost of living is the most important issue facing the country, and they don't like what he's done in that. His job approval, still 72% among Democrats, 63% among liberals. That was in the 80s too in January of just this year. And as we start to discuss this, let's bring up graphic 5. You'll see it broken down into some other categories. These are really bad. Younger than 45, 33% approval. I would want to see polling on the other 50 Democrats at this point, I think. But Maz, what do you make of all this?
Well, I think we all are kind of in shock that out of a country of 330 million people, these two guys are the best we could do. Not because of, I think the Biden administration has done some good things, but age is really an issue, and we really should have a limit at the other end. And by the way, watching Joe Biden, he still has, obviously he's a smart person in general, and he still has moments where you go, oh wow, he's still got it. But just watching the way he walks, I'm like, gosh, Mick Jagger's 80. I wish he had Mick Jagger's genes, not his jeans. You know what I'm saying? His genes. Meaning like, I wish he could Mick Jagger out of that place. The way Mick Jagger the Stones just announced a new tour. I mean, so just the way he would look would inspire some confidence, but a lot of people don't have that confidence. I understand the way people feel about the economy, but a lot of times when you really break it down, we've come a long way from the inflation and everything else that we were suffering from. Not to say we're where we need to be, but we've come a long way. And I think the Democrats haven't done as good of a job of presenting that case and saying, hey, things aren't as bad as they were, and they're getting better with the investments in the infrastructure bill. They're not doing as good of a job of selling their points. How about the idea of the Republicans took a woman's right to choose away? That did well during the elections, the previous elections. They need to be pushing that some more. How about pushing more? They're trying to show this thing of like, if Trump wins, he would be a dictator. They really got to drive that home, that we would be living in the Handmaid's Tale. And by the way, Biden said he was only going to run for one term because he thought Trump was done. We all thought Trump was done. And yet this country is so backwards, and these people are so backwards, and the Republican Party are such cowards that when it was time to kind of put the knife in and get rid of this person that's damaged your party and damaged the country, instead they didn't go for getting rid of him. They went and kissed the ring like McCarthy did down in Florida. So I think Biden's just as shocked that Trump's in it again and winning.
Yeah, I will be sure that Trump is done 10 to 15 years after he dies. Until then, not so sure. Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.